Hi, Abraham. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. My question concerns my dreams. I find myself over the last several years having nightmarish type dreams that I wake up screaming from. Though my life seems very plentiful and bountiful, and I thrive in many areas of my life, so I'm actually quite surprised about the fact that my dreams could be so, scary, where I wake up screaming. And so I'm wondering if you can maybe help me get some clarity on that.
The thing that we like most about dreams is that they are indicators of a vibrational current that you've got going on. Dreams also remind us all how wonderful it is that you live in an environment where there is a buffer of time, where you can offer quite a bit of thought. You have a lot of leeway. And that's why a person can say to us, I'm having dreams that are unsettling while my life is going okay. And we want you to understand that your dreams are a bit about what's down the road, because your dreams are manifestations. Your dreams don't come to you as messages from someone outside of you. Your dreams come to you as indications of where your thoughts are and what those thoughts, if you maintain them for longer periods of time, are manifesting. Give us a little bit of detail about the dream. You say you wake up screaming. What's happening?
Well, it's never the same one, but it usually revolves around some sort of something. Sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's an animal that is looking at me really intently, and then there's some sort of recognition that there is what I feel at the time is some sort of evil in that other thing. And then I get so terrified, or I don't know if it's terrified, but I decide right then, well, the only way I know how to wake myself up out of this is to start screaming.
All right, so now let's sort this out just a little bit, because what most people feel is evil is another who has an intention that is different from your own, who believes that they have the power to enforce their intention, whether you're happy with it or not. In other words, it's that feeling of powerlessness. But if you're beating the drum of something, if you are observing things going on around you, and it comes to your attention that there are others who profess to have power over things, whether you think they do or not, and they've worked very hard at convincing you and others that they have that power. And the power that they seem to be exerting is not a vibrational match to what you want to have happen, but you don't have any means of making them stop it. And they arrogantly stand right in front of you and look right at you as if to say, this is what I'm going to do, and you can't stop me. That's why you're putting the label evil on it, because it feels like it has a stronger power. It feels like it's bigger than just another person there. There's a whole current around it, and your realization in your dream, in other words, you're not angry, you're not fighting it, you're not standing up to it, you're not defying it, you're not saying, but wait a minute, you have no power in my experience. You're buying what they're saying. In other words, they are so sure that in their clarity, they are convincing you that you can't do anything about it. That's what that dream is about. And what we are talking about all day, every day in gatherings like this is that no one has any power in your experience. There is a stream that you all have access to, and your relationship to the stream is all you're doing. So we look forward to the dream that you will have not so far from now, where whoever that is, whatever it is, will stand there giving you that look that I have power, and I have power over you, and I'm going to do something that you would not choose, and you have no choice, and you'll just stand and giggle at it. You'll just sort of laugh and say, but wait a minute, I know about law of attraction, and I know about my vibrational attitude, and I know about the stream of well-being, and I know who I am in relationship to it, and I really don't have any connection with you, and my withdrawing my attention from you is going to disarm all of this so that you can be out there doing whatever you want to do, but it's not going to have anything to do with me, because I'm withdrawing my attention from you. And the reason I'm withdrawing my attention from you is because I got a real good look at you in my dream state, and I didn't like what I saw. And since I get it, that I create my dreams, then I'm going to uncreate you. I'm going to take you out of my dreams. I'm writing you out of the script. I'm replacing you with something more fun. I'm replacing you with something else. When you get it, that your dreams are written by you, then you can just write them the way you want them to be. It helps to understand that. Now, what we want you and everyone to understand is that everything is of your own making. That there are no good guys and bad guys. You are all good guys, standing in different places of defensiveness, which makes you call each other bad guys. And as you use what others are doing as your reason for resistance, all you manage to do, the whole bunch of you, is point upstream and have a miserable time and then blame each other for your life not going better. But you can't sort it out. You cannot get to the bottom of any issue and figure it out. So finally, what it comes down to is you've got to accept that well-being is yours to be had, and that there are no monsters in the bushes that are not of your own making. There is no evil that is other than of your own making. There is no one after you that is not of your own making. And if they're showing up, then there's something that you need to do about it.
And I actually understand that, and that's why I find it confusing, actually, that I'm having it in my dreams, but I don't have those feelings at all in my waking life.
That's really a good point, and this is the reason for that. Everything that you feel is about your vibrational relationship between where you are, the drum you're beating right now, and who you really are. Everything you feel is about that. Everything you live is about that. So a lot of people are not really sensitive to what they're feeling until it manifests. In other words, first there is emotion. If you don't notice the emotion, it gets bigger, then there's sensation. If you don't notice it, it gets bigger, and there's actually physical discomfort that can actually lead to physical pain. And so if you're not aware that you've got this going on, then often you'll have a dream that just points it out in more vivid terms. In other words, clearly there's something that is happening in your vibration that you're just not aware of, because what you're saying to us is, it doesn't feel that bad. My life's going pretty good, you say.
Yeah.
And we say, we want your life to go better than pretty good. We want it to go really, really well. We want you to not just get by. We want you to fantastically thrive. We don't want you to just sort of have an interesting life. We want you to have a vivid, compelling life. We don't want you to feel okay in your body. We want you to feel vital and alive and exhilarated in your body. We don't want ideas to just interest you. We want them to captivate you and fascinate you. Mm-hmm. There is so much more for you to live. And because you're willing, and everyone is, you're willing to endure the discomfort of focusing upon things that make you feel bad. As you focus upon things that make you feel bad, they're coming closer and closer into your experience. And when they show up in your dreams, the purpose of it is to get your attention, because your attention hasn't been gotten by your emotions. Most of you are sort of immune to your emotions unless they get really, really strong. You're willing to be irritated. You're willing to be frustrated. You're willing to be overwhelmed. You're willing to be less than joyful. But it isn't until something in your dream scares the fire out of you that then it gets your attention. And we say, good for that dream. It got your attention. We love it when things show up in your dreams, because they help you to realize you've got vibrations going on that you didn't know you had going on before you had the dream. So when you have a dream like that, it's not saying that you've gone wrong. What it's saying is you've got stuff in vibrational escrow that for one reason or another you're holding yourself apart from. A dream like that is an indication of the existence of resistance. So when you wake up from a dream like that and you acknowledge, well, didn't know I had it, I acknowledge that I've got some resistance. Now I'm going to start watching in my day-to-day conversations and thoughts with myself and others, what things sort of remind me of the feeling in that dream. What things remind me of that? And as you find yourself in the middle of something that feels like that, stop and say, oh yeah, that's it. This is a point of resistance. Now, here's where all of my power is. In other words, right here, right now, is where I can choose to go this way or this way. That's all the power in the moment means. I can go against the flow, or I can let myself go with the flow. Those are the only choices. You might have heard us say, we've been saying it for a while, that there really are only two emotions. One feels good and one feels bad. And it might be even better to say one feels better than the other. Two choices. From where you stand, anytime you're standing there, you don't have access to the whole range of emotions. You've just got a choice. Feel worse or feel better. That's it. Feel worse or feel better. So anywhere you jump in, which is where you are, you don't have a choice. You can't say, oh, I think I'll jump in up there. You've jumped in. This is where you are. This is where all of the thoughts that you've thought before, all of the combinations of all of the things you've been doing, this is where you are. You're jumping in where you are. We want you to write this down. I am where I am. 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 I'm 20 miles out and San Diego's still 400 miles away. I am where I am. Should I kill myself over that? No. Just point towards San Diego and keep going. I am where I am. I am where I am. And the only question is, which way am I pointing in the stream? And what we so much want you to hear is that no matter where you are in terms of what you call time frame between the manifestation point of what you're wanting, the turning point is the moment that you let the flow carry you. That's when life starts getting better. In the moment that you let the flow carry you. Sure, you want to be down there where all that stuff is, and we promise you, you will get there. But the turning point in life, what life is about letting the stream carry you rather than bucking it. And when you don't believe you're worthy, you buck it. When you believe somebody else is wrong, you buck it. When you think there is shortage and not enough to go around, you buck it. When you think somebody else is going to get credit for something that you want credit for, you buck it. When you think that somebody has done something wrong, you buck it. When somebody disagrees with you, you buck it. When you think that there's a competition over rightness and wrongness, you buck it. When you think that past lives are being held against you, you buck it. When you think that there's something waiting for you in heaven and you've got to find the right hoops to jump through and then you've got to jump through them just right, you buck it. In other words, you buck it, you buck it, you buck it when it doesn't feel good. And in the moment that you stop doing that, you relax, the relief takes over, and the stream begins to carry you, and that is your turning point. So you can turn from despair into something that feels better, which you might call rage. You can turn from rage into something that feels better, that might feel anger. You can turn from anger into something that feels better, which might feel like less anger. You can turn from anger into frustration, which feels better. You can turn from frustration into hoping, which feels better. You can turn from hoping into believing or reaching or optimism, which feels better. In other words, it's just always from where I am. Never mind what anybody else thinks. Their vibrational relationship doesn't have anything to do with mine. This is just me in the stream, just me in my canoe, me in the stream. What am I doing? What am I doing right now? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm trying to prove myself. I'm trying to stand out above the crowd. I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to make it right. I'm trying to fix something that is broken. I'm trying to fix something that I should have done differently. I'm trying to take it back. Against the current, against the current, against the current, against the current. Or I'm just letting it go. I'm just accepting that I'm good. I'm just accepting that I'm doing the best that I knew how to do all along the way. I'm accepting that all of my power is now. I'm accepting that now is my turning point. I'm accepting that it's going to be all right. I'm accepting that well-being is eternal. I'm accepting that the stream is flowing. I'm accepting that I've been in the stream for a long time. I'm accepting that I love flowing with the stream. I'm accepting that the stream is flowing to the things that I want. I'm accepting that Source is calling me in the stream. I'm accepting that it always has. I'm accepting that I am good and always have been good. I'm accepting that everything's all right. I'm accepting that everyone's doing the best they know how to do. In other words, I'm just letting go of the struggle. And when I do, I let myself be what life has caused me to become. In the meantime, oh boy, does it feel good. The relief. You know the difference between being so thirsty that you just think you can't stand it, and so you just guzzle until there's relief, and then when you're not thirsty, you can be more discerning. So the turning point is anywhere that you will let yourself take it, you see. We love dreams. They are so full of information that you haven't been able to see before you had the dream. That's all they are. They're just exaggerators. They are enhancers. They are amplifiers. Your dreams are amplification of how you really feel.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.
It's always a pleasure.